Gentleman from Wisconsin is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks for being here today, and I know we've been kind of going on. I'm trying not to rehash anything that's already been discussed, but Commissioner Traynor, is the Manhattan District Attorney's Office charged with determining whether someone violated the Federal Elections Campaign Act, or FECA?
No, Congressman. That is exclusive jurisdiction of the Federal Election Commission and ultimately could be referred to the Department of Justice if it's found to be criminal.
So certainly not the New York Supreme Court either, state Supreme Court?
Absolutely not.
No. So as you said, it's Federal Elections Commission. Was President Trump's alleged payment via Michael Cohen to Stephanie Clifford referred to the FEC?
We did have several complaints related to it.
And what did the FEC decide with respect to that referral?
Well, ultimately, we deadlocked on a decision related to it, but the real factor in making the determination was the fact that the Department of Justice asked us to abate those proceedings so that they could conduct an over a year-long criminal investigation, which they determined there was no criminality in, and then they sent it back to us, and it was statute of limitations barred.
So did the Justice Department also decline to charge the former president for charges related to FECA?
They did.
Right. And so the two agencies that are charged by Congress to determine whether President Trump's payment constituted a violation of FECA found no violation and took no enforcement action. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Foley, you argued in a recent Wall Street Journal op-ed that Judge Merchant likely denied President Trump a meaningful opportunity to be heard by denying the testimony of former FEC Chairman Brad Smith. Can you please elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of sort of misreporting on what happened here. Yes, Judge Merchan, as my colleague Mr. Eisen points out, did allow Brad Smith to testify, but the catch was he could not opine at all, either provide his opinion or any personal opinion or legal opinion regarding whether or not President Trump's actions had violated FECA, which was basically, then he was useless, which is why President Trump didn't call him as a witness. So the whole point was President Trump wanted an expert witness to put before the jury to show the jury that what he had done did not, in fact, violate federal election law. And he was denied that opportunity, and that seems like a rather basic thing that he would have the opportunity to be heard on.
Do you think there was a chance that he could have had success upon appeal?
Will he have success on appeal of this? Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, the thing is that, you know, again, I agree with Norm on the fact that the bias issues are difficult to win because they get deferential standards of review. But the due process issue is a question of law. It gets de novo review. The appellate courts get to look at it fresh, with fresh eyes, no deference whatsoever. And more importantly, due process issues are issues that the Supreme Court can ultimately grant cert and hear.
Right, so Judge Merchan also ruled that Michael Cohen's guilty plea for violating FECA was inadmissible at trial. Why do you think he made that ruling? I think we know, but...
Well, because you can't basically taint one individual by the guilty conduct of another.
Judge Merchan also ruled that D.A. Bragg could elicit testimony from Mr. Cohen about his guilty plea to impeach his credibility as a witness. D.A. Bragg then repeatedly made reference at trial in his office closing arguments to the jury about Cohen's FECA guilty plea. Did repeatedly subjecting the jury to this testimony essentially get around the judge's own ruling that Cohen's FECA guilty plea was inadmissible as substantive evidence?
Yeah, I mean, that should have been reined in. That was clearly trying to, you know, taint one person through association with another who was guilty. They also did the same thing, I believe, with the CFO of Trump Organization. They made similar comments because he also entered a guilty plea. Weisselberg. Yeah.
Thank you. I yield back.
Will the gentleman yield? Will the gentleman yield? I do. Thank you. So I just want to get this straight. The campaign finance expert wasn't allowed to testify about campaign finance.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, the way Judge Merchan tried to explain it is he said, well, you know, I'm the expert of the law. And, okay, granted, that's why the judge is there. But
Brad Smith wasn't allowed to talk about the very testimony we just got from Commissioner Trainer in essence. right?
Precisely.
Well, we're going to give Brad Smith a chance to testify in front of this committee as well. And we're going to let him tell the Congress and the country what he wasn't allowed to tell the court and the jury, because we think that's important. And the gentleman from Wisconsin was right on target when he was asking that question.